guys, I'm a voice like honey. You can find me on TikTok under the tag name A Voice Like Honey. Come to me when you need to meditate, relax, go to sleep. Good vibes only.
Yeah, what's going on, people? It's your boy Mad Dog, and I'm back with this is the second half to the video that I done yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I'm not too sure. So anyway, I tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna get straight into this video. I'm gonna throw her links up. I'm gonna throw them around so you guys can go and check her out. Anyway, so are you ready? We're gonna go straight. What do I just call you, honey? Right?
Yeah, just call me honey.
Okay, we're gonna go straight into this one, people. Let's go.
Everyone likes to talk about stats.
No, I've not seen any
but
of
do
this
we
video,
really know
okay?
what the stats are?
Not even the first half.
I watched about 5 minutes of it and stopped it. I don't like reacting to video scenes already.
Okay.
Hey Hans, welcome to my channel. I'm Dami Zane. If you are new here, thank you for clicking on this video. If you're already subscribed, thank you for coming back. My very first video on this channel, I addressed some comments that a British-born comedian made about how black men don't like black women in the UK and how black women keep taking
TC?
L's from black.
Mm-hmm.
You know I can't see the video if it's playing, right?
You can't see the video.
No, all I can see is my face in your screen.
Hold on there, people. Hold on. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Make sure you put a filter on, make me pretty. Bye.
Hold
Okay.
on. Hold on there. I'm gonna see. Bam.
There we go.
Oh, you can see it now, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, but now I can't see you.
Oh, I can see your screen and not your video though, and I can see me.
I can't see you though.
Can you hear me though?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That's all right then. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I'll just
go on.
figure it out.
Yeah, we'll just run it like this then, right?
Yeah.
All right, coolio. Let's go.
Men in the UK. The video is here. You can find it on my channel and I'll probably link it below if you want to see what I said before. But this is technically a part 2 because the comments the comments under this video were very interesting. I had a mixed bag. I had black men saying they only really date black women. I had black women saying they only really date white men. I had Caribbeans saying that there's a difference between the black Caribbean experience and the black African experience. And I had some people who were mad at me because, you know, they felt that we were trying to gaslight them, even though my video was very clear about the fact that London's experience is valid. People have London's experience, but social media likes to make it seem like nobody has mine, and that's why I made my video. But anyway, the reason why I'm talking about this again is because I feel
You used to live in London, right?
Yeah.
What do you think the dating scene in London was like for you?
I mean, it's hard to say because it was years ago. I was a lot younger. But if I'm honest,
Yeah.
remember I was a lot younger, like times have potentially changed. I prefer the dating scene in London than I do the one up here.
Any reasons in that?
I don't know if it's because with London it's just a bigger city, right? So you get like a whole lot of options, but I feel like Birmingham is, maybe it's me because I don't go out of my house much. Like I don't really like travel outwards or like hit all the dances and things. I don't really go many places. But I view Birmingham as kind of like a uni city. So it's almost like the people that you'll bump into whilst you're out and about are all going to be like younger, really. Yeah, they're just not. They're not giving grown.
They're not your cup of tea, yeah.
They're for the streets. Like it just feels like Yeah.
I get.
I mean, I could be wrong. Like, I haven't dated in a while, so
Yeah, yeah. All right, all right.
Like, we need to do a deeper dive into the topic and really discuss some of the challenges that we're having in the UK when it comes to dating whilst being black. Before I get into it, I just want to caveat this video by saying to you that this is my opinion, Dami Zane's opinion. And
Okay,
of course,
Dami Zane.
I'm opening up the
I butchered her name in the last video, but Dami
Don't give me
Zane.
that.
Yeah, now she said it. Dami Zane. I got it.
comment section so you can share yours as well.
And I will, girl.
But keep it respectful. And if you make it to the end of this video and you haven't subscribed, click the button. You know what to do. If you enjoyed the video as well, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps push my channel. A comment I saw coming up a lot on my previous video was statistics. The stats say this, the stats say that. So I'm going to start with the stats. And this is the data from the Office for National Statistics. Now, according to the 2011 census, 48 to 60% of Black Caribbean men were in an interracial relationship, primarily with white partners, whereas 30 to 40% of Black Caribbean women were in interracial relationships. Approximately 20 to 25% of
Where did she say she get these stats from again? Where did she say it comes from?
I think it's from the census. You know, every year they do every couple of years they do a census.
Yeah. Is that accurate? It's around probably a little bit accurate.
I mean, I don't know if how accurate it is. I don't fill it in because why do you want to know my business? But yeah, based on whoever has filled it in, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
of Black African men were in interracial relationships, compared to about 23% of Black African women who were also reported to be in interracial relationships. We also had another census in 2021, and that revealed that 1 in 10 people in England and Wales were in interracial relationships, with the most common pairing being white British with other ethnicities. It doesn't really give us much of a breakdown of what
Yeah, I was gonna say
what
that.
the
Then.
stats are between each ethnic group. That hasn't been published yet. However,
That's what I was waiting for.
obviously, if the numbers were that high in 2011, we can argue that the numbers would be even more than that now. I have left the sources in the description, so if you want to know where I got these stats from, you can find it in there. Now, looking at these stats,
I'll definitely go check that out.
it's clear
I know
that
you
Black
will.
Caribbean
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send you I did send you a video, a link of her channel, right?
I think you did, yeah. You
Yeah,
sent it
yeah.
to me.
Because she's got some alright videos on there.
men tend to date interracially a lot more than Black African men. It's also clear that both Black Caribbean men and Black African men are more likely to date interracially than Black women, period. But with that being said, a significant portion of the Black population are still dating within the Black community, because look, 48 to 60% of Black Caribbean men were in interracial relationships at the time of this census, right? That's telling me that about 50 to 40% of them were still dating within our ethnic group. Likewise, for Black African men, approximately 20 to 25% of Black African men were in interracial relationships at the time of this census. That tells me that at least 80 to 75% of them were still dating within our ethnic group. That is a significant portion of them still dating within the Black community, and therein lies my point. This whole thing about, oh, Black British men don't like Black British women, they don't date us, they only date white, it's not true. Even the stats show that. If it was like,
What do you think about that, honey?
Well, because there's black men dating Black women doesn't mean that it's Black men dating Black British women. It could be Black women from other countries. Like, they're not necessarily British women. Like, I live in Britain, but I was born and raised in the Caribbean, like, until a certain age. So I came up here young, but like, my viewpoint on life as a whole is molded by my mother, who came straight from the Caribbean. Like,
Yeah.
my way I think is going to be completely different to like a Black British woman. So it's not clarifying. It's just says that there's Black men out here dating Black women. That Black woman could be overseas in America. She could be. Do you get what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you could
yeah,
have
yeah.
Like, we don't know.
True.
like 80% for both Black Caribbean and Black African men, then I would be like, you know what, cool, because they're only checking for us 20% of the time. And I feel like as a community, we should be looking at things holistically instead of focusing on the negative so much. I personally, I go where the love is. If you don't like me, that's fine. It's likely that I don't like you either. I actually think there's a number of reasons why dating whilst being black in the UK is very, very difficult. And I'm going to briefly touch on a few of them.
Do you think it's difficult dating black in the UK? What do you think?
Oh, I've only ever dated black in the UK, so it can't be that difficult, really. But I think it's difficult. It could be difficult staying together whilst black in the UK.
Difficult.
Like, I think there's a lot of outside factors. Even like the weather is just terrible anyway. Your moods like just it can change at certain times, and I think financially there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of need to go out and work hard and stuff. Like, and by hard, I don't mean like just to a normal degree. I mean to an abnormal degree, like where you've got men out here going to work and coming home and then going out again to go and drive Ubers. You've got the wives now at the same time going out to work, coming home, making sure dinner's on the table for their husbands, and then she's out driving Uber. Because I've been in a few Ubers now with women, and you hear them on their phones to their husbands who've just finished their shift. They're at home and they're like trying to sort stuff out. Like, I just think overall it's hard, but not for the reasons that I think I'm getting from this video.
Yeah,
like,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think it's a case we don't like each other.
Nah. My question was though, what I was trying to ask was, as a black woman, do you think it's hard for you to find a I don't even like to say a black man. I just rather say a relationship. Like, do you think as a black woman it's easy or hard for you to find someone to be in a relationship with?
I think it's hard for me to find someone I want to be in a relationship with.
See?
It's not hard for me to find someone to be in a relationship with.
See,
There's
someone
plenty of men.
see, someone you want. Yeah, that's why I always say I think women's picky.
No, it's not even about being picky, because it's from both, behave yourself. It's from both sides, because like I know what I want in a man, right?
Yeah.
And a man should know what he wants in a woman, and
Fact,
I might
fact.
not be it. Like, I might not be where he needs his woman to be. So even though I might be a good option, I'm not the option for his time. And I think that's what it is. I feel like, for me personally, we keep missing each other. Like, I could find the most amazing man and he's got baggage. So what am I supposed to do with that? Like, because at the end of the day, I can't be his priority. No. We can't work with it unless somebody's willing to work with it.
Yeah,
do you get what I mean?
Yeah. It's true.
Otherwise, my type of work with it could be seen as just an added burden. Like, so it just can't work like that. Or like, for example, on TikTok, I'm in a lot of, like, they do these live things now where you can have panels and discussions and stuff, and you hear the black men talking and stuff, and we're all very jaded. Like, social media has absolutely ruined us, because it's like we're hearing opinions from across, let's call it across the pond, across the pond and stuff, and we're like, it's almost like we over here in Britain are measuring ourselves against the American standard, which is ridiculous. Because
facts.
Ridiculous. But then you also hear a lot of men out here, they're doing the soul searching now. They're working on themselves. They're doing the best to make sure they're ready to have a family and a wife and stuff. And they're not willing to, like, and by rights, you get me, you can't fault a man for what he wants. Like, it's just hard, man, to find your feet and your yoke. Like everyone's like moving at different paces. Oh yeah, it is a bit hard, you know. I'm not gonna lie. It is a bit hard. I'm not gonna lie.
We got to the bottom of it, yeah. So go on, carry on.
They say you should cut your cloth accordingly, right? And like, I could be speaking to a man, not in any capacity, just having a conversation with a man, right? And I'm like, wow, you're so intelligent. Like you're actually like a beautiful black man. Like, and I don't just mean physically and stuff, because I don't know what it is, but like sometimes the best hearts are like, yeah. It's like, let me just leave that there.
Yeah, all right. Go on.
But it's like, you'll hear them speaking and they'll say things like, yeah, the woman I want, she needs to come already like built, like, so like they don't want to have to fix a woman, be it emotionally or financially or anything. Like, they don't want that in a woman anymore. Like, these men that I look at and think, oh my god, you're quite amazing and stuff like that. But in the same breath, I think one of the strongest factors with a man feeling like a man is the fact that he's needed. So it's like,
Facts,
if
facts,
that's
yeah.
the woman that you want, then how are you going to wrap your head around the fact that she doesn't need you? Because the women that you're describing are the women that don't need you. They might want you, they might have you because that they've chosen you based on that, but they don't need you. So already you're kind of at a disadvantage as a man, if that's what, do you get what I'm trying to say?
I kind of get what you say. I kind of get what you're saying. You know what? It's hard for me because I just speak for myself. I'm a simple dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm a simple guy. The only thing I think I look for in a woman is peace. Just
that's
peace.
why I know. Yeah,
It's just peace. I can't take woman. I don't like women who wants to argue a lot. Go back and forth. That drives me. That drives me crazy as a man. And most of the men I speak to, they have the same issue as well. They just can't stand the women that go back and forth. And I think might be a bit controversial now, right? And I think a lot of guys that I speak to, I think this is why a lot of them end up going with white women also. And what I've learned is, right, I'm not saying all black women arguments, whatever else. I think it's more down to, I said that in the last video, is it, what's the right word for it? Culture? Is it a culture thing? Or upbringing? Like a lot of different cultures raised women in a different sense, how to be around men, how to be a husband. I think British women, they don't get taught that. I don't think they do. I think British women have no idea on how to be a wife. That's my
yeah,
that's my opinion, because it's not taught that. You know what I mean? That's not been taught in this country. You know,
yeah,
it's more of I don't need a man. I can do anything a man can do. I'm independent. And most men, speaking for me anyway, men don't want to hear that crap. We don't want to hear a woman say we don't need a man, or we're independent, we can do everything and all of that crap and all that crap. Nah, we want to be a man and feel like a man, if that makes sense.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyway, let's run this back. Let's run this back.
These, but of course, again,
Bit
I'm
off
opening
topic.
the comment.
Hey, say again.
Got a bit off topic
Yeah,
there.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Up to more discussion about this. There is a lot of negative stereotypes out there about black men and black women, and I think that perpetuates negative perceptions of our community and therefore lead to less opportunities for genuine connection between people. When you look at what they say online about black women, it's always we're loud, we're aggressive, we've overly sexualized ourselves, we've got too much attitude.
Facts.
That's it. Is
Facts.
that facts as in that's what the internet says, or facts as in that's what the women are?
No. Majority anyway. I'm not speaking for all. I'm not gonna. But majority. I'd say. You know what? You know what it is. It's a hard one, because I think black women had to be like that, right? They had to take charge. they had to become, how do you put it, how do you put it? I think most black women grew up in a home. The dad wasn't there, so you know, like the dad left in majority of black relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and I think why how do I put it? I think the reason why a lot of black women come across so what's the word to use for it?
Masculine.
Yeah, so masculine. That's a nicer word to use. Yeah, masculine is because they had to be the man of the house, the woman of the house. You know what I mean? But then when you bring it out into the world and you're speaking to a man, it's kind of off-putting. You know? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't want to dig a hole for myself. You know,
yeah,
but I'm trying to be polite with it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I get what you're trying to say there.
Yeah.
because they buy into the stereotypes of black women so much, they've decided to prefer to go somewhere else.
I don't think it's a stereotype though.
I
I
think
wouldn't say it's a stereotype.
I think it's a stereotype in the same way that all black men are likely to grow up to be criminals. I think it's a stereotype. It's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's been said so much, it's assumed so much that it's almost like, well, if that's what the world thinks about me anyway, then let me just give them what they want. No black woman starts off hard. Some do, because some go through a lot of stuff when they're younger, and
I still don't think it's a stereotype, right? Look at most of the prison in England is filled with blacks. Then you look at most of
yeah,
the
but
prison
it's
in America,
for
it
rubbish.
and
That's not a them thing. For most of it, most of them men are probably in there on technicality. They're not even meant to be in there. Like really, like they came down so hard. If they were white, they
nah.
would never have ended up in there.
You can't say that, because it's your circle and where you put yourself. You know what I mean? That's why I think,
That was going to be my next point. It depends on the women you're surrounding yourself, because
yeah.
all the black women I know are different type of black women to the ones that I've been thingy. I probably wear the shortest skirts out of all the women that I know. Me, and you know what I'm like.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You get what I mean? Like, I'm probably the hardest one out of them all.
But I don't think it's what she's saying, right? With the stereotype thing, I personally don't think it's a stereotype because um, I'm black, right? And as a black man, a lot of the time, if I was to go out and I approach majority of the black women, and maybe that is down to the area, sometimes I get a lot of aggression. You do get a lot of aggression. So either to look at you, cut the eyes, or kiss the teeth, or it's, or you know, just.
It's probably because they already know what you're gonna say, innit?
But
They're
they
probably like,
nah. But you
yeah,
see,
they come now.
no. But check that. I see what you just say. Then
Yeah.
this is that it's
Whereas if it was a whereas, right? If you were to approach, say, a white woman,
yeah.
right, she would probably act differently because you are different. Like how she would react to the white man
Yeah.
is probably different to how she would react to you, because she knows the white man. She's already comfortable there, so her reaction would be completely different. Like, because I know a lot of loud white women, loud,
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
aggressive,
yeah. No. No.
stuff.
Trust me.
That's what I'm saying.
With me, I think it's a lot of the time it can be 50-50 across the board. But when it comes to argumentative and aggression, I get it more from my own. You know, I get it more from a black woman. And just like you say, maybe it's because they know what you're gonna say. Nah, I've approached black women just in the past and saying this, I went where was it? I'm never mind where I was, and
Yeah.
I seen a black girl, right, and I think I only approached and I said, and I was polite. I said, excuse me, right, and she just turned around and she said, nah. And you know what? Before she even finished saying anything, I just walked up. All I was gonna say to her was, right, I was gonna say, I'm sure you're Charlene's cousin. That's all I was gonna say. You know what I mean? And straight away off the bat, she said, nah, 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 nah. And I thought, I'm not even going to say it. I just walked off. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't think it's a stereotype, because as a black man, I deal with this a lot. You know what I mean? I do deal with it a lot. And it got to a stage where sometimes I'd see a black woman I don't even want to approach. You know? And
Oh,
so
no.
so this is why I would say I don't think it's a stereotype thing, and also it could be an area thing. And check this out. Why I say that? You see, when I go to, for instance, if I'm in London or Birmingham, the black girls that I might approach in Birmingham and London will give me a bigger attitude, or way more. They would react way more different to a black girl to say in like I would say down south or Cardiff. The black girls in Cardiff behave way different to the one in London and Birmingham. The black girls in Torquay, the black girls up by, you see what I'm saying. So maybe it's an area thing. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Maybe it's a like generational thing. I don't know. Like it's yeah. I don't know. I can't. I can't. I can only
Yeah,
speak about
you can't. Yeah,
it.
you can't
Yeah,
speak. You
I
can't
can't.
speak for me as a man. Yeah.
Exactly. Like I can't.
That's why I'm interested to have you on here to hear your point of view, because the last
Yeah.
video done, there was a few things I wanted to touch on, but I haven't got the right to touch on it as a man, because I can't give a woman's opinion on something. I'm not a woman, you know. All right, let's run it.
And
Go on.
as much as I just like to put a big disclaimer out, as much as I might have something to say and I'd be like, well, no, that's not the experience I've had. I'm a completely different person to your next woman, you
Yeah,
see. So the way I speak or the way I handle myself or the way I react, because I feel like the tone of voice, the way you say things, and even just your overall facial expression at certain moments can really like affect the trajectory of a conversation. Like, so the
definitely.
experience I have with a lot of men, with people like someone might say no, 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 but this kind of man, they're aggressive and blah 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 blah. Like I've never had that. Like I was on a panel the other day, right, and they were talking about how women don't like good boys, they like bad boys, and I was like, you need to define a bad man and a good man to me, because some of the biggest hearts have been found in roadmen. Like if a roadman really down for you, he's loyal and stuff. Obviously, he's doing badness. I'm not denying he's doing badness, but I'm saying his heart could be really good. So you need to like make a differentiation. But obviously, that's not the that's not the concept. Oh God, don't cancel me. I'm just saying. I'm just on the video. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
talking
yeah.
anymore.
I actually think most of the time it's a conscious choice, and that's coming from a black woman that generally says that she only finds black men attractive. However, I can identify a good looking Asian guy, I can identify a very good looking white guy, and I've been attracted to them before, but I made the choice to prefer black men. There's a difference between attraction and preference, and I think people get that mixed up. I'm just saying. Social media.
See, that one with me is
You
I
disagree?
I kind of disagree, because I think there's a there's everyone there's a in every race someone looks attractive, and I'm not gonna I wouldn't say, oh, look at that China woman, oh, she's beautiful, she's got a kind heart, she's nice, but because she's Chinese, I'd rather stick to my own. I wouldn't do that. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
see.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wouldn't, and I say that because I used to be like that. Don't get me wrong. There was a time where I used to be like, bun this and bun all that. But you get to a stage where you think, I'm, I used to feel like I start sounding like the same racist white people. People, like the racist whites that just didn't like black people. And
Yeah.
I get to a stage where I used to think I'm probably just as bad as them, if I'm gonna say, just because she's Chinese or white, right? I'm not gonna date her because she's not black. You know what I mean? And then I used to sit there and think to myself, I sound just like the KKK. You know what I
Do you
mean?
know what? I don't think it's from a racist point of view. Like For example, I've
It is
seen,
from a
I've
racist
seen,
point of view because
no,
you're
because
going off
it's
the color
like,
of the skin. That is a
no,
that's a
no,
racial
it's
thing.
not just color, because she said she finds white men and Asian men attractive, but preferentially
Yeah.
she would rather tie her jeans or be with
No,
a
no, no,
black
no,
man.
no, no,
Like,
no. She never mentioned the jeans thing.
she didn't mention the jeans, but that's what she
Yeah.
means. She said
No,
she's
no, no.
she's
Don't say what
chosen
she
that
mean.
she's
Don't
gonna
say what she
date
mean
black
because she
men.
didn't say that. Yeah. Stick to
All right,
what she
fine,
said.
fine,
Stick
fine.
down. Stick to what she
All right,
said. Yeah.
fine. She said
Now,
she
if she
finds
said
white
that,
men and Asian man them.
if she said that, then I would agree and say okay, I understand that. But she just said she finds Asians and white guys. She can see some attractive ones, right? But she says she would rather stick to a black guy. So to me,
And so that's there's obviously other reasons for that. Like, it's not just a case of, oh no, I just don't want to go there. Like
maybe she should have explained
I
it better.
wouldn't date an I don't think I would date an Asian man. I mean, I could be proven wrong. I'm not saying I'm not
Yeah,
open to the change,
yeah.
but it's solely on the fact that culturally I know we're very different. We're very different. Like, so I've met Asian mans. Lord have mercy on
But
my soul. I've met
you
Asian,
can't say
yeah.
culturally though because you're living in England, and there's Asian guys here that's more English than you. He was born here, and they're more English than you.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, in their household, my daughters are English, but in
Yeah.
my household, they're very much West Indian. Like, our laws are different to the ones outside our doors, which is why my daughters will move differently to a British girl that's been
Yeah.
raised British. Do you
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, so like I'm saying, like, I've been attracted to Asian men, but these men that I've known, right? At the time, they might have seemed all chilled and nice and relaxed and just, just like a British person.
Yeah.
But I've watched them, and as they've got older, they've gone deep into the culture. Like, you get me? They're deep into the culture. They're gonna marry an Asian woman and do all
It's
the Asian
best
stuff.
it's best maybe because I'm just going off. I'm just reacting to what she's saying. So,
Now,
bet
wait.
no
But
so
on the other side of that,
the
I'm
cultural
West
thing I
Indian.
understand. The cultural thing I understand. If you're someone who wants to stick
Yeah.
into into your culture, right? Then I understand that also to an extent. And here why I say that to an extent because I'm Jamaican. I was born in Jamaica, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
There's Chinese Jamaicans.
I was just about to say that.
There's white Jamaicans. There's you see where I'm going with this, right? So
Yeah. I was just
from the
about to
way
say I would
she from
marry an
yes,
Asian from my country.
so from the way she
Yeah.
explained it, right? She's basically saying, okay, even if she, because I think she's African, right? So
Yeah.
basically, what she's saying is, to me, it does sound a little bit racist. I'm not saying she's racist. I'm just saying the way I've learned to look at life, it comes across a little bit sounding a little bit racist because she's an African woman. So, but basically, what she's saying is, if she was back home and there was a white African, his whole generation of family is from Africa. They know nothing but that is their African, but they're white. She still wouldn't date him. So
Yeah, she's saying her preference is black. Like, people
yes,
have lives. People
yeah.
have
No. That's what I'm saying. So when you just said maybe it's a culture thing, it can't be a culture thing because
yeah.
she's pinpointing a skin color, which to me is kind of racist. It is however you want to look at it, it's kind of racist. It sounds like the KKK. It sounds like the slave masters how they used to speak. This is no, it's
No,
facts.
but
This is why I say as black people sometimes we talk we need to probably explain what we mean more because it does come across racist and it does come across sounding a little bit racist. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I disagree. But I hear what you're saying.
But why would you disagree though?
Because like, to me, saying that my preference is dating black men
Yeah.
isn't racist. I'm saying that's my preference. I'm not saying, like, I'm basically saying I'm not going to go out of my way to find me a white man or an Asian man or somebody that's not black. I'm not saying that. She never said it was like a strong no. She said it's her preference. I mean, it probably is a strong no, but it's her preference. Like, she can see an attractive white man, but she's not attracted to that white man. It's like when men say my preference is women with straight hair or women with natural hair, or my
No,
preference
no,
is
no,
a
no,
light
no,
skinned
no, no.
woman and
But
a
but
dark
but
skinned woman.
when
It's
a
like
man
that.
say that, when a man say his preference is a woman with straight hair or
Or when
natural
when
hair, or is not a man's not. Most men are not saying my preference is a black or white woman. He's just saying my preference is a girl with big butts, yeah, long hair or curly
okay,
hair.
what about when a man says my preference is a light skinned woman or a white woman?
Yeah,
Because
then
a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of men
yeah.
do say
But
that as well.
then that is still some kind of racist to me. Still some. It still sounds on the borderline of racist to me. It does. You know what I mean? And I say that because as a black man, a lot of the time, right? Every little thing that I hear, sometimes, like, yeah, that's racist, and yeah, that's racist. And then when I hear a black woman speaks like this, sometimes I think it's kind of borderline racist.
Yeah,
It's borderline racism. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Personally, I just think it's borderline racism.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
No,
Her
no, 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 no.
preference
She didn't say that. She says she
she
would
said
not.
her
No, no. She said she would. She said she would only date a black person.
is that what she said?
Let's go back.
Let's go back because
Yeah,
I just heard her say her preference. So wait,
no,
wait.
no, no. Let's go back.
Made the choice to prefer black men. There's a
Listen, okay,
difference
listen.
between attraction and preference, and I think people get that mixed up. I'm just saying. Social media is one
Hold up.
big algorithm, and the more you entertain, made the choice, and that's coming from a black woman that generally they've decided to prefer to go somewhere else. I actually think most of the time it's a conscious choice, and that's coming from a black woman that generally says that she only finds black men attractive. However, I can identify a good-looking Asian guy, I can identify a very good-looking white guy, and I've been attracted to them before, but I made the choice to prefer black men. There's
See?
a difference between attraction and
See,
She made the choice to prefer them.
she made a choice to prefer
She's made a conscious decision
to.
to. So she's not saying she doesn't find the other races
Yeah,
attractive.
yeah,
She's
no,
just
no, yeah, yeah,
saying
yeah,
she
yeah,
would
yeah.
prefer
Mm.
to settle down with. This is what she would prefer in an ideal world. This is her preference.
Mm.
It's just words at the end of the day, and it
Yeah,
like
it is. I just don't. You know what it is with me? I just don't like. I don't like to see a beautiful black woman like this and the sounding on the borderline of racism. I just don't like it because she seems so educated. You know what I mean?
yeah, she is, but
Yeah, so I just don't like. I don't.
she loves her black men. Like you get me? She loves her black men. She loves them. Is it like
But
it's
this is
not racism to
but
like
not no, but this is the
love
thing.
somebody that looks like you?
No, but this is the thing with me, right? I used to speak just how she speak, and then I got to a stage where I just think, you know what? I just love women. And guess what? When I came to a fact and and I said that to myself, I just love women. My life became easier. The
Yeah.
marketplace became easier because guess what? Then and look, I've been with my partner now over 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I just find if you put yourself in a box, right? And just think if you put yourself in a box, this is why the dating scene or the dating marketplace will become harder. Keep putting yourself in a box. If you take color away from it, if you take if you take color out of it, maybe culture is a big thing, right? So to a lot of people, but take color away from it, and I think the marketplace will open up a lot for people because you can keep culture in it because you're still gonna have all race of different people from all culture. You see my point, isn't it? But if you take the color away from it, the color thing away from it, I think a lot. I think it'll be easier. Go on, say I don't agree.
No, wait. I think people that just date obviously, like if you take color out of it, your world completely opens up. Like you got every diaspora to choose from at that point, right?
Mm, yeah, I just always think it's easier now. I've looked at it just to take the color away from it, take the color away from it, and that way we don't sound like majority of the racist white people that we don't like ourselves. When we speak, no, it's true. When we speak like this, I find sometimes we sound a little bit too much like the racist white people that we don't like. You know what I mean?
And preference. And I think people get that mixed up. I'm just saying. Social media is one big algorithm, and the more you entertain a certain narrative or a certain type of content, that is all you're going to see. And so as a result of that, especially when you're chronically online, these stereotypes become indoctrined. It starts to feed into how you perceive the world, how you perceive your reality, when really it's just trolls online talking rubbish most of the time. If I based my type on what I see on social media alone, I wouldn't date black men, because all I see on social media most of the time is misogyny. And I'm probably going to touch on this another time because I really don't want my videos to be too long. But if you look at patriarchy and how black men are treated within, it is no surprise that some of them decide that they want to be as close to whiteness as possible. It might not necessarily be that they just don't find black women attractive. It could literally be that they think that blackness is suffering because that's what we've been taught, that's what we've been conditioned to believe, and whiteness is where it's at if you want to succeed.
Not from this side. From me personally, I disagree with that one. I disagree with that one as a black man. From my side of it, I disagree with that one.
Food for thought. Black people as a whole are often objectified. We are seen as objects. We are seen as commodities. And whether you are dating within the community or you're dating interracially, that can have some negative impact on your dating experience. For instance, in the media, including social media, we have seen time and time again white women over-sexualizing black men. You know, the fact that he's probably got a mandingo, his sexual prowess, blah, blah, blah. Just putting the over-sexualization of black men to the side, there's also this obsession with black features and wanting to be as close to blackness as possible, mimicking and cultural appropriation, wanting, if not them, but their own kids to have our features, from a lighter shade of our skin tone, our full lip.
Oh, this that reminds me of a thing I saw on TikTok recently. One of the ladies I follow on TikTok, she came across a video, and it was, she said it was this woman, and she was like 25. She's 25, and she went and had she went to a sperm donor, you know, one of those sperm donor clinics, to have a baby. So it's a white 25-year-old female, and she chose for the father to be black American. So my friend is like, okay, you're 25, okay, fine, you're successful, so you feel like you want to have a child, but you don't want to have to go through the dating pool or whatever. She said, why, as a white woman, would you choose a black man? Why a black man? Why not one of the white sperm donors? Like, why a black man? Now you're going to give birth to a black child with no representation in the house. Why would you do that? And she said the woman just ignored her question. Like, she constantly ignored her question. She said, but I really do want to understand why she would do that. Like, because, like she said, I think she said in the end, the woman was like, I've got mixed race friends, so the child will like learn from there and stuff. But yeah, play the video. That's another topic for another day, I suppose.
Yeah, that is definitely another topic. But I was gonna say a few things then, but I'll just let the video run.
Yeah.
Lips, our hair, whatever it might be, that is probably one of the driving forces for why black men have been appealing to white women for a very long time. Fundamentally, fetishization plays a significant part in the problem with dating interracially and intra-racially. Something needs to be said about dating bias, because I've noticed that it's difficult to meet people in real life now. The way we socialized has completely changed. I don't know if it's to do with lockdown, and the C word. I don't know if it's because people are all in their technology now and all on their phone, and the rise of AI and all of these other contributing factors. People are relying now on meeting on social media, so sliding in the DMs, and online dating in particular. There's studies that show that there is a lot of bias. I was on TikTok the other day and this girl was saying how she switched her profile to say that she was white, and then she hid it from the profile, and all of a sudden her options became wider. Like, she was getting a lot more
Is that true?
Yeah, I heard about that. I tried to do it to see what would happen. And yeah, I heard about that. I haven't been able to figure out how she did it though.
Okay.
I'm gonna go on and
Because
see.
if you change it, your pictures are gonna be the same, right?
Yeah, your pictures will be the same, but
Oh, it will
they will
send it out to more
they will,
people. Okay.
yeah, more people who have just picked white only women will see your photos, as well as you will be able to see more people that are looking for white women.
interaction from men, including black men, compared to what she was getting when she had set her profile to show that she was actually black. So not only was your profile being hidden from black men when you actually told these apps that you were black, but once you told these apps you were white, your profile was being seen by more black men, and more black men were swiping right for you. Suspicious? I think so. So I thought, okay, let me try it out. Let me see. My profile was set to black. I was getting checked. But when I set my profile to white, and I told the profile that I'm a white woman and hid that, same pictures, and you can see I'm blackety black, I was getting double, if not 3 times the amount of attention from black men than I was when my ethnicity was correctly identified on the app. What does that tell you? There is online bias when it comes to dating, and that is also creating barriers in our dating experience. Now, when these biases are compounded by societal norms, it's no surprise to me that black women are finding it difficult to date in the UK. European standards of beauty is typically put at the forefront in everything we see, everything. European beauty has been the standard, and the black people that are deemed to be closer to that standard tend to be the ones that are more desirable. It's only in the last, I would say, 10, 15 years where we've seen black beauty coming more towards the front. We only have 1 or 2 or 3 black people in the limelight who are very big and bad about their blackness and are seen as beautiful by not just the black community, but by people outside of the black community as well. When you look at influencers, when you look at celebrities, and when you think about the fact that we've all been conditioned and we've all been socialized to see lighter skin as attractive, to see European beauty standards as the goal, it is no surprise that that becomes the preference. And the biases I just spoke about that we're seeing in dating compounds the feeling that we are not attractive, that we are not wanted, because we're having difficulty being picked in the first place. Now, I'm not saying we're not being picked, because some of us are, but it can contribute to why it can feel like we are undesired. I would be doing the stats an injustice if I didn't talk about the cultural differences. In the comments, it came up quite a lot, this difference between African culture and Caribbean culture. I have blood relatives that are half Caribbean, so I'm close to the culture, but I wouldn't say I'm close enough to speak on the experience. So I'm only going to speak on African experience. And I feel like Africans are quite similar to the Asian community.
Yeah, I think I think the African community a lot, even in the UK, they seem to stick to their own, right? Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
They do, right? That's like the Asian community in the UK as well. They stick to the majority of them. They stick to their own.
I mean,
I think they do, but at the same, no, they do. But check this
there
out.
are, yeah.
But also, if you notice, this is what I'm saying with what she's been saying a lot of the time. It's kind of borderline racism, and I'll explain why I say that. Is because a lot of Asians that I know in England, right, they stick to their own culture. They don't do the color thing, because a lot of white Muslim women are married to Asian Muslim men, right? A lot of yeah, once they're Muslim they seem to, okay, she's white Muslim, blah blah blah. They'll still tie the knot and get married, right? And when you go over by, I don't know if you know where Tees Reef is over them sides, right? It's like a built up more African population over that side of Birmingham. You'll see a lot of African guys with African with wives that's white, but the African wife, if you hear them speak, you'll be like, raw. You see my point, right? So it's like they stick to the socials, the social side of it. Where this is why I say with her it's more borderline, because she's not saying she wants just a traditional African who she don't care if they're black, white. She's saying her preference is still black, which is the skin. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In terms of its values around this. This is especially from the generation above us. Like when I look at my parents, my aunties and uncles and their friends from that generation, it's very much, we don't want you to lose your culture. We don't want you to forget where you came from. We would prefer that you date within your race. However, when we do date, it's not a matter of, oh, we're going to disown you, you're a disgrace. Like, it's not that deep, but there's definitely more pressure to stay within your culture. And actually, there are some parts of Africa that are very strict about this compared to others. I even know of African cultures that don't even want you to date other Africans. They only want you to date the same country, the same tribe, the same village, the same dialect as their own. They don't want you to date out. I can even say as a Yoruba woman, because I don't want to talk about anybody else. I don't want anyone saying I'm speaking for them. There are Nigerians that live in the UK where their parents are so Nigerian. If they were to bring a white person into the house, that white person might not be comfortable. I'm talking, they will not eat food that is not Nigerian. When it comes to wedding traditions, they're not going to budge, they're not going to shake, they're not going to move. It must be the Nigerian way. So bringing someone into that space, it would have to be someone that is ready to conform. And I think that sometimes can be the reason why we are seeing less African men dating outside. They still do it, don't get me wrong. The stats said 20 to 25%. They still do it, but it's just not as much. I think class and economic disparities often intersect with race, and this makes it difficult for Black people to meet potential partners in a diverse socio-economic space. And when you think about the fact that systematic racism within, for example, education system, the workforce and etc., creates tension within races, particularly for Black women, I think this has an impact on our dating experience and why it's often difficult for us to meet people and to feel like we are desired by people within and outside of our race. So what are the solutions? I don't know. I think I've only scratched the surface when it comes to this conversation. I've spoken about this at a very high level, but there's definitely a lot more factors as to why dating in the Black community is difficult. And I think we should be having a wider conversation about it as a community. I do think we're being pitted against each other, not just in the dating scene, but even when it comes to how Black people see each other from different cultures. Like, there's this whole Black American versus Black British debate because of lack of education, because of lack of empathy and the ability to just say, okay, these are my experiences, these are your experiences, they can coexist, let's learn to understand each other and have productive conversation. That is what is causing the divide. And I will...
She's intelligent though, right? When you listen to her speak, she's really intelligent, right?
She's very intelligent.
Yeah, I've been checking out her channel. I actually like, she's really intelligent. I just don't like when as I keep saying, yes,
you don't like her preference.
No, it's not a preference. I just don't like, it's not even her. I don't like hearing any Black people speak and it sounds a bit borderline racist, because we've put up with racism for too long. I don't like the fact sometimes we say certain things and we sound borderline racist. I don't like it. You know what I mean? I just don't like it. We've put up with that. We've put up with racism for too long for us to then sound like that, you know?
Talk about that in the next...
I mean, I know you feel it's borderline racist, but I don't. But then I guess at the same, it's just how you... just different opinions,
Yeah.
Weeks. This is also the case when it comes to the reason why black women are choosing not to date black men anymore. Because I've also seen this narrative of
Black women hate black men. There's double standard. They don't like it when we date other people, but they're there dating other people as well.
listen, a lot of those women that are divesting, they weren't divesting from the beginning. It's a reaction. The whole divesting thing all came about because black women were upset with black men.
If it's a reaction one way, it's a reaction both ways. It's not just if black women start dating white men, don't use it as an excuse and say it's a reaction. You know what I mean? It
They
works.
weren't, yeah, but
It works
she's
both
saying it's a
ways.
she's saying it's a reaction because they weren't getting picked, and they weren't getting picked because they're seen as aggressive, and black men don't like that.
So
So
that
because
so
black
it,
men don't, so because black men have decided, like, you know, the way the temperament of a black woman, or in their eyes, I'm not saying that's how it is, girls. Okay, because black men have looked at black women, not
yeah
all black men,
yeah
obviously.
yeah yeah
I feel the need to say that, even though I feel like that should just be
yeah yeah
apparent.
yeah yeah yeah.
Um, they look at black women and thought, that's not my cup of tea, right? I'm going to go elsewhere to find the kind of woman that I want in my household. Not based on color, based on attitude or personality or whatever the reason was, right? So that was the black man's reason for stepping outside the culture, right?
Yeah.
So she's simply saying that the black woman's response to that was to basically go where they were chosen. So they are choosing to pick the men that are choosing them, even though their preference would be a black man.
Yeah,
But because
didn't you hear
obviously,
what I said at first? I said my preference is a black woman, right? But
yeah,
at the
but you
same
decided to open up and see, like, just be like, you know what, actually my preference is a woman. I'm going to,
my
yeah,
preference, yeah.
yeah.
So when she's saying it's a basically she's, hold on, let me just tap on what she just said again. Let me just tap
I
on
know.
it. Tap on what she said.
It's a reaction.
Yeah, the reaction. So this is why I'm saying if it's a reaction for a black woman going with white men, it was a reaction in the first place that led a black woman. It was the black woman's reaction towards black men that led the black woman's reaction to go towards white men. Because the black man wouldn't went nowhere in the first place if their reaction towards black men wasn't like that.
Yeah, but if you listen to the thing, it's not a case of, okay, it's not a case of, because if you look from it from a social perspective,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Men, like, from a stereotypical, men are pursuers, right?
yeah.
Right? Okay. So you're going to assume, just for the sake
Yeah,
of
yeah,
being
yeah, yeah.
devil's advocate, right, that black men were pursuing black women and white men were pursuing black women, and just men in general were pursuing black women, but black women weren't having no bar of it. They were like, no, we want the black men.
Yeah.
But obviously the way that they interacted with the black men was problematic in the eyes of these black men. Yeah, perhaps. And black men were like, you know what, the pool's too great, we're going to open it out, we're just going to be open to any and everything, right? Not in a negative way. And then as a result, whatever qualities it was that these black men were looking for, they found in white women or other races.
It's all right. Yeah, from I tell you what, right? The way it started off for me was basically I found it hard in a sense where most the black women I went for, as a matter of fact, I say black girls because I was younger then, right? I was younger, right? Most of the black girls I went for, it seemed to be a problem. Whereas in, and this is my experience. Not I can only speak for myself.
Yeah.
it seems like if I wasn't driving a BMW, they wasn't interested. If I was driving a Mercedes, they didn't want me if I was on the bus or in a taxi. They was just not interested. You see what I'm saying? Like, no interest whatsoever. And them times I was working at Tesco's, and as soon as I speak to a black woman, and she's like, yeah, we work at Tesco's. She's not interested. She lost all interest because I worked in Tesco's and I wasn't driving.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, that's where, I'm not gonna say woman, because I was
Wild, because how old were you? Like, you would have been young, right?
I was what? Was it probably about 20? Yeah, probably
So
about,
you would have been young.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably about 20. And but to
Were
be
these women the same age range, or were they
yeah,
older
yeah,
women?
no, same age range. But even say for instance, even the dating market right now, right?
Hmm.
If you listen to a lot of and I'm not gonna say black women, because I hear it from white women.
Always.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's become a trend now. Before, growing up, it used to be more dominant, black women, and I think that's because even my dad, you hear my dad saying to the sisters or whatever now, so you know, you don't want no man if him not have money, and you make sure your man have money and in a good job, and he's got this and he's got that. You see what I'm saying? So at them times when I was growing up, it seems like most parents was raising their kids like that. You don't want a worthless man that without a good job and a good career. So the little guys like me didn't stand a chance with
I mean, that was in all the households, though.
no.
Every man says it to their kids.
Yeah, no,
Every dad, every decent dad, because you would never tell your daughter it to date a man that had no prospect,
no, but I
because
wouldn't
you
tell.
don't want your daughter to.
I wouldn't tell her not to look down at a man working in Tesco's.
Yeah, but a man, see, unless the dad is specifically saying you don't
Yeah,
want a man,
no, but
you
that
want
no.
a man that's making something of himself with
Yeah,
ambition. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And then
and working in Tesco's is not a bad thing,
yeah,
especially at.
you would think it's not bad, but that was my experience. You know what I mean?
You want some money, man?
I got no gateway, and it was where the first she was what's her I can't remember her name right now.
Don't call names.
No, I'm not gonna call it. That's why I said I can't remember her name. But hey, but listen, and she was a Chinese girl, right? And
Yeah.
it nothing was going on for me at the time, but this girl gave me a chance, and that was one of the first time I start. No, actually, I go back years before that. Actually, um, um, 20. No, I was younger than 20 at this time when I met this Chinese girl, because she was the first one to open up my mind and start look. You know what I mean? Just start thinking to myself, okay, then I might as well open up their open up their eyes. Guys, let me run the video, yeah.
Run the video.
The whole divesting thing all came about because black women were upset with black men. They are disenfranchised
Now we was upset with you first.
with black men.
Yeah, she's not
and
saying they were
decided,
upset. Right? She's just saying that's why they did it.
Nah. But we was upset. We was upset before. You know what I mean? We was upset with black women before. You know what I mean?
You know what? I'm
Not all, and you know what? Not all black women. Not all black women. You know what I mean?
out. I'm done. To conclude, because Lord, my mouth is dry. Black men date interracially more than black women, but there's still a significant proportion of black men dating within our ethnic group. There is a lot more at play than just they don't find us attractive.
You know what's weird, honey,
Exactly.
right?
That's what she's saying. There's more than the fact that they don't find black women attractive. There's more to it than just that.
Yeah.
So,
That's what I was just gonna touch on, because
yeah.
I used to have this thing, right, where I used to say, you know what, and this is why I think social media plays a lot of part in corrupting men and women, because There was times I used to think, and I used to say this to
What?
my dad. I used to say, you know what? When I'm ready to settle down and get married, I'm gonna go back to Jamaica, right, and find a wife in Jamaica. And honey, when I went back to Jamaica, around these times, the Jamaican woman was just the same as the English girls. Social media seemed to reach there. And I think yeah, what I mean by that is social media seemed to reach there and corrupted a lot of the people there, and now they just act the same as most of the British girls. And I think this is why, what's that thing called now? I forgot what they call them. Passport bros? Is that passport bros? Is that what they call them? These guys that fly to Thailand and these other countries.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's, you know why they do that? It's because these countries are not really corrupted as much by social media, and these parents still raise their daughters and how to look after a husband, how to have a husband, and how to raise a family. And you know what I mean? They still have those traditions.
I mean,
Jamaica had those traditions. England had those traditions, but
they
they've
still
lost it.
do.
No, they don't.
They do.
Yeah,
No,
probably
maybe
ten
not
percent.
all
Probably
of
ten
them,
percent of
but they
England do.
do.
No, probably
Because like
10%.
all
Probably.
the amount of like even and I know I keep talking about TikTok, but it's because I'm new to TikTok, right? So
Yeah.
it's like right, but like even when I'm on TikTok and stuff, and these are like Jamaicans that are living in England,
Mm.
but you know they're still for the culture and stuff. Like and you hear them talk, and they'll be like when we're on these panels or whatever, and they're talking, and they'll be like, no, because you know I believe that you must do this for your man and do that for the man, because they still believe in the old school values, and their cousins back
All
home
right,
and
all
stuff
right.
still believe in it.
You say they
But
do. Can I ask you a question? You've got two daughters, right?
yeah,
Do you raise your daughters? Are you raising your daughters on how to be a wife?
I'm raising my daughters on how to be a good woman, in my opinion. Yeah.
No, I didn't ask you that.
Yeah, but
No, no,
I'm
no,
not
no, 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 no. I
I'm
didn't ask you
I'm
that.
not I'm not a wife.
No. Okay then.
I'm not a wife.
Okay, this is why I say
So I
these.
can't say to my daughters, this is what a wife should do. But I could say to them, this is how a woman should be. And based on who I am as a woman, I already know I would be an exemplary wife,
All right.
flaws and
All
all.
right.
So
This is why a lot of men are traveling to these countries where the parents teaches and raises their daughters and how to be a wife. You know what I mean? When you say that to a lot of people, the first thing that comes to a lot of people mind when they say that, oh, why would I raise my daughter and how to be a slave? Huh? And sometimes I said, I'm like, who said that? Well, basically, that's what you're saying because you're telling me I have to raise my daughter and how to cook my husband's food and clean the house, and a lot
no,
of people
don't
look
get
at
me
these
wrong.
things like it's wrong
I
or
do
it's
say
bad.
these things. I do say these things to my daughters. Like I'd be like, you need to be able to cook. You need to be able to clean. I said, otherwise your husband's going to be thingy. But in the same breath, I'm sure you can see where society is today,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
not all men are deserving of wives. Not all men are deserving of wives. So on the other hand, I'm also saying to
I
them,
agree.
you need to be able to do this for you. You need to be able to do that for you, and you need to demand a life that's not going to have you burnt out by 30. Do you know?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree with that too.
back, like in these countries where they're going to get these women from, right? Imagine you've gone to Thailand where the weather is good. You can go outside, right? You might be living in absolute poverty, but you can go outside as long as you've got your land and you can grow your food. You can pick fresh already you're one upping me over here with my supplements, right? So you've gone and you've plucked this beautiful young woman who's been seeing sunshine and fresh air and fresh fruits and stuff every day of her life, right? And you've brought her to England for a better life. You think this woman's temperament is going to be the same 5 years from now? I guarantee it's not. I guarantee it's not. Unless you've taken her passport, you've hidden her shoes, she's not touching education, you're providing so much that she does not need to go outside and work. I guarantee the woman you brought back is going to change because the society is going to change her. The circumstances are going to change her. Like, it's not feasible. Like, it's not feasible. Like, you're going to, it's like, I've been
But
in relationships
that's her
before,
tradition.
right?
She
But
that's her that
yeah,
would be her
no, I'm
tradition
not
though.
saying she's not going to cook. I'm not saying she's not going to clean. I'm not saying she's not going to cater for her husband. I'm saying mentally and physically, there's going to be a shift because there is nothing in this country to maintain that. There's nothing unless you're rich,
Yeah,
right?
because no, this country is designed to tear families
So if
apart.
if you want exactly. So this is what the problem is. It's not like we're fighting. We're not fighting a losing battle. I refuse to believe that because love is everything. You get me? I am love. I believe in love. You get me? Like,
Here comes the
so
voice. Go on.
I said, so I refuse to say we're fighting a losing battle, right? But if the wife you want is in Thailand, then best believe you need to be taking your life out of England and moving it to Thailand as well
No,
to maintain that.
one of my boys married to a Thai girl, and
And
they've been married over 10 years now, and she's
where
still the same person.
where is she?
West
Are
Brom.
they over here?
Yeah,
Are they over here?
yeah, West Brom.
And what's the life like? Because what's the life like?
Life's good.
Is
He works.
yeah.
She doesn't work. You know what I mean? Obviously,
And that's
he's
what that's
leading.
what
He's leading.
there it is. She doesn't work because he's doing what he needs to do to
Yes,
keep that woman.
no,
Yeah,
because that's how she's been brought up. Now, this
right.
no. That's how she's been brought up. This is what going back to say. English women wasn't are not brought up like that. The first thing they're gonna say is, "I want my own money. I'm independent. I want to do this." Oh no, I'm not staying in the house all day. I'm not cooking dinner every day. You can have takeaway, or you know what I'm saying. Oh, I'm going to.
All,
I want
all,
my own bank account. I'm going out with the
all the
girls. I'm
women,
going to. I'm
all
going
the
to.
women I know, right? Because obviously, I've got different friendship groups in it
Yeah.
because I've lived in different places. But all my friends are married, except for one she's been in that relationship for absolute years. Like, I'm literally the only single one because life is life in. But if it's one thing I can tell you, and these are all women that I grew up with. So these are black, these are African, these are Ghanaian women, these are Nigerian women, these are mixed race women, like these are white women, right?
Yeah.
I've got a very eclectic friendship group. All married,
Yeah.
some to white men, some to black men, some outside of the culture. Like, um if it's one thing we can all agree on is they're not working because they want to work. They're working, but then again, birds of a feather, in it. So this might be a minority. They're working because they have to work. They have to work, and it's not a case of their husbands aren't working and doing their thing right. It's just a case of like London is kicking their ass. You
Yeah.
get
Yeah. Yeah.
me?
Yeah. Yeah.
London's
Yeah.
kick.
Yeah.
So they have to work, and then what happens is these women come home and they love on their husbands, they love on their kids. You get me? And they're starting to feel burnt out. They're starting to feel drained or whatever, and little arguments might happen here and there, but I don't know. For my friendship group, I rate it. I know love exists. I mean, I'm not gonna say. I think one of the couples are both black. I think everything else is interracial. But it's. I think it's naive. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I think it's naive to think. I think your friend did it very well, by the way, considering she doesn't have to work. So he's allowing her to be who she's been brought up to be within, the whatever. But I think it's naive to think that
Most
because
men,
of
most
someone in.
listen. I'm not speaking for all men, but I can tell you, most men don't want their woman to work anyway.
Yeah, but they're not. They don't. But they're not. They're not at a place to make that happen. And that's the problem. I think that's part of. I mean, this is completely off topic, but I think that's also part of the problem. Like, you've got to understand where your bread's cut, cloth's cut, whatever the bloody saying is. You've got to understand that there's a difference. Like, you don't want your woman to work, but you're not making enough money for your woman not to work.
Yeah.
Right. And as a woman, I get really frustrated. Like, even with like my ex, I get really frustrated, who happens to be the father of my children, by the way.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
even with my ex, I get really frustrated
Yeah,
when
yeah.
he comes to my house, to the point where now he doesn't even really come to my house, because I'm like, you can't come to my house and start saying shit when you're not doing shit within the household. Like, if you, and I say this to him all the time, I said, look, yeah, because this is
Careful
the
now.
woman.
Careful now,
This,
just in case he sees the video. Careful
no, if
now.
he sees the video, he already knows I'm not saying anything wrong. Like, one day I said to him, we were watching some video, this was like a while ago, because we are currently not friends, right? So this was like years ago, but I will remember, and like this always pops into my head. Like, we were watching a video, and it was one of those silly meme videos where it was like, giving the money to the man in the restaurant or whatever, and I was like, I would never. And he said, he literally said, he looks at me and he went, oh, shut up, because you know you would, because that's the type of woman you are. Like, and it's frustrating, because that is the type of woman I am. I am that type of woman.
Yeah.
But don't think I'm that type of woman when you're not doing anything for my life. And I think that's the problem. If a woman feels like she's not benefiting, you're going to get a different kind of woman. Like, and and I don't mean
Yeah,
I
but
want your
all right, no,
money
no, no. All right,
and
check this out.
stuff.
Check this out.
Yeah,
My boy that I'm talking about, yeah, they don't live a lavish lifestyle. They don't
they
live.
don't need to.
None. I know, but
Yeah.
it goes back to a few tradition, right? He goes to work, right? He brings home the money. They don't live a fancy life. They haven't got a nice house. They haven't got no nice cars. And she's happy with that. Now,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of British women that, or Caribbean women that I can think of that will be happy at home, not working, and her husband's got a little 9 to 5, and he comes home, and after they're paying all the bills and getting all the shopping, they probably got, a little £100 or £200 left. There's not a lot of Caribbean or English women that I can think that will be happy with that. But she was brought up different. She's happy with that. All she cares about, by the looks of it, is her and her man.
Yeah, but why is it a problem that she's happy with it and the others aren't? There are Caribbean women out there that would be happy with that. I can't tell you if there's British women out there that would be happy with that, because this whole British woman thing is a very strange concept to me. Like, obviously my friends are British,
Yeah.
right? Because they were born in England, but their parents aren't British. They're like, well, they are British, some of them, but they're like old school
Yeah,
Catholic
yeah, yeah.
Irish, and like actual, like, born in Nigeria, grew in Nigeria, like came over for a better life type people and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So culturally, like, the reason my friendship group is because my mother was old school and she was strict as hell. These were the only households I was really allowed to frequent. Like, these were the only people that slept over at my house. These were the only houses that I slept over at. Pretty much, like, our doors, like, this is it. Like, I know what happens in your household, you know what happens in my household. All kids will be friends. That's it. Like, there's just nothing else to it. Like, so this whole British concept is like really hard for me to like wrap my head around. Like, because I only know what I know.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
No, I only know what I know. And I also see, obviously, I see women online and I see how they speak and stuff. But like, it's I don't know, man. I mean, I know. I just think it's so silly. Like, everyone should just, if stop trying to change people. There's like
Yeah.
literally people out there for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah,
I mean,
there
it's
is.
hard
There
to
is. There
find,
is.
but
There is.
like,
I agree with that. There's someone out there for everyone.
even in the black community, because I really don't, unless they're like outwardly saying I hate black women and I hate black men. Like, I would never get with a black woman, and I know some people do say
I
that,
don't.
but
You know what?
I've not
I
met.
can't. It's very weird for me to hear that there's black men out there that are saying they hate black women. I just don't see how that's possible. I've never heard one say it myself.
Never
So
about to be
I've,
honest.
you know what I mean? Def made
Which is
this.
what she's saying. She's
No,
saying
yeah,
social
yeah,
media is lying.
yeah. They must be lying,
They
Because
are. They have
even
to
when I
be.
spoke to Death Mage, yeah, I think I spoke to her yesterday. She said, "No, there's black guys out there that hate black women and wants them to die and all of this." And I'm like, that must be an American thing because I've never heard of
No.
that.
Yeah, it is. It is. But it's leaking over here. You know,
Mm.
it's leaking over here. The next time I come across one of these panels on TikTok, I'll invite you.
All right,
Just just
let's finish this
just to
video off.
listen.
Let's
All
try and
right.
finish. Oh, I've missed my 8 o'clock slot for this video, guys. So this video, if you're watching, is running a bit late. So sorry about that.
Ooh.
I rather focus on
That's because Honey's in here. She can chat.
Okay. Edit out
the
all the bad bits,
quality
okay?
of dating these men.
Nah, I don't edit these. I keep them real 100. I just keep them real. I don't want
Okay.
people to think we're cutting out anything or it's just, you know.
As opposed to whether they're dating us or not, or whether they find us attractive or not. We need more representation of black relationships, and not just black relationships that are failing, but black relationships that are thriving. I genuinely believe that if we saw more healthy relationships within our community, in the media, that includes social media, it would increase our feeling of desirability, both within black men and black women. Because right now, both black men and black women feel like the opposing side hates them. As ever, I'm going to open the comments out to you. I want to hear your experiences, your opinions on dating as a black person in the UK. I want to hear your challenges. I want to hear good examples of healthy relationships. Please leave a comment if you have something to share. Please keep it respectful. I don't want to have to block people.
Yeah.
Hey, people. Hey, thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel and you like any of these content you see, and hit the thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the thumbs down button. If you're new to the channel, also don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get notified for when I go live or when I drop a next video. With my girl Honey today. Honey, you want to give a shout out your platform so these people can go check you out.
You can find me. Should I give my YouTube as well? I don't like doing this. You can find me on YouTube under Label Me Frank, or you can find me on TikTok underneath a voice like Honey. Yeah, that's HUNII.
All right, people. As usual, God bless and good night. Thanks for watching.